Welcome to our lovely future humans and to a late IHP show with your 5D mystic Christ consciousness. Let's honor your humanity and Jesus, and more than just that, let's honor science and spirituality. We had an episode today on Science Explains Why Breaking Bad Habits is hard. Breaking up it's not hard for some of us. And the role of mindset and neuroplasticity. So your humanity is what gives you access to your spirituality, and science knows it. And there's no Gargamel hiding in a corner. No, there's Gargamel in a corner, but there's no monster to be blaming, unless you're a not whole 3-year-old heart. So when people don't own their child parts, meaning the essence of them, meaning 2 sides of the brain, and we'll continue chit-chatting about this, they don't know how to be yourself. That's why I said, no. I'm Maria version 45.0. I don't need myself to be only a 2 version. Well, really what it is I'm 45 years of age, so I own the sense of self. And when scientists explain to you something you've known your entire life, I know myself better than you know me. And that's it. Now, I also do know that we know each other as humans. Yes, creatures of habits. That's why I said doing the whole likes and dislikes. Oh, and when I say lie, I'm like a 3-year-old who's saying, my mom taught me what manipulators do, so you're liars. Also, I know when people are insecure, like my facade friend, those are called attachment wounds. So I'm going to give you the technical verbiage. Also, I'm not the one who's going to pat you on the back or do this. I'm actually something called in the middle, which is where I don't do I like or dislike. I like and dislike things. They're subjectively Maria's opinions. And so my 3-year-old knows the world doesn't revolve around me. And at IHP, we only have people who want to be yourself. The smart way, stable, mature, adaptive, rational, teachable. It's not the stupid way. Because again, the liars are handling the stupid people who need to be told it's likely that your willpower won't be enough for you to break a habit. No. That if you do have this thing called helplessness with your habitual brain, as Bessel van der Kolk points out, and as my facade friend showed me, you can't talk sense to somebody. Now, I wasn't trying to talk sense to my facade friend, to people who regularly tune in. This is a friend of mine. I've known him since I was 15. He's still my friend. I love him to death. He gave up on himself. So did the teenage boyfriend, which is why it's not amazing to see either of them as they, it's none of my business. They're living great and dandy. As others will point out, like my Pinocchio Island friends who told me in my face as they smoke and drink alcohol, I smoke cigars and I drink alcohol, some wine, not too much. So this is why I was saying, like, can we stop exaggerating with the likely, not likely? But guess who likes the boxed up, like one size fits all? Hey, teenagers, are you actually doing one of a kind, or are you actually copying each other? This Maria is a teenager. No, I didn't tell him that. I just spot him. So thanks, Jesus. I did say yes to Jesus, Holy Spirit, and God, and God knows everything. There's no Lucifer, Gargamel, Snow White. No, go attack all the cartoons that I'm going to use. Smurfs attack Gargamel. He's alone in a corner. He needs to have fun. The human beings. Yes, integrated brain people. We don't get lost because I'm Maria. I have a name. I am also known as Rose. That's my spiritual name. Haha, see, I told you. I don't keep secrets. Any secret I keep, it's in silence. Because I'm smart. Like I told my teenage friends, we don't need to read minds. And like Bessel van der Kolk, Stephen Porges, Jenny Fisher, and every single modern day therapist, they know how you can gain access to your spirituality. The seed of enlightenment, thank you, Sadhguru. The kingdom of God, thank you, Jesus. And anybody who's actually smart is gonna be back here because, again, we love to love, and our babies, they love to dance and live and love and learn and expand and not cast stones. Catch a falling star and put it in your pocket. Never let it fade away. Anybody wish? When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. I'm being serious. Nope, not all your dreams will come true. Hey, 3-year-olds, there's 8 billion people. What do you think? I do know utopia. Imagine all the people, it's not utopia, by the way, living life in peace. Woohoo. Yes, we will. Oh, thank you, Thomas Campbell. You're amazing. Scientists finally caught up to what spirituality has been saying for eons. And they also know there's no demon possessing anyone, which is why when the grown-ups who lie, when I say lie, it's not because they are actually liars. Well, They are liars themselves. So my point is, I'm trying to, get rid of the people who are boring. Make sure you understand that you need to not take my words literally, because although I'm literal, sometimes I'm using the word in a different way than you would use it, which is what my linear people have me understand. So I'm trying to make sure you understand. It doesn't mean they're actively lying. So I try to remember everything that all people tell me. And they say, then you get boring. And I say, well, at least I'm getting as specific as possible to try and ensure that I am clearly stating it doesn't mean blanket statement, because it's one human being with a subjective opinion. And I know we have a world where it's about what feels right to every single person. Which is why I'm not in the group, because I can tell you what my bias and what my feelings are. Let's make the world a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, so can I repeat it again? This is the song that doesn't. It's a small world after all. Okay, so this is where my head hasn't changed in all the years. I'm 8, and I say I want to help people when I grow up, and I knew it. I already knew it. To be yourself, be happy. Bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife or whatever. I'm trying to get rid of the boring people again, just so we're clear. They can't handle ventral energy, and I can't handle boring Gargamels in a corner. Go away, Gargamel. You're ruining the party right now. So, while those who don't understand why they suffer, I do. Now, as I say in your humanity, you have it when you understand you didn't walk in my shoes and I didn't walk in yours. If you suffer life, there's a person called Zen Master who tells you how enlightenment is impossible. There's a cynic who tells you how enlightenment is a trap while he picks apart people. These are all human beings who didn't learn how to use open-ended inquiry so that they could grow brave and strong. I don't feel brave and strong. You know who's brave? The little girl I still see in my eyes as she's crying and a man's trying to give her juice and she's crying. And he says, "Are you afraid of?" And he asks if she's afraid of the other group, which she obviously then starts crying even more. And this is not funny. So now what I know is if you give scarlet letters to every single person who makes a mistake and you want their image to have to hold on to that charge. So imagine all the people who's faking it. How many teenagers are faking it? Because when I was in my master's degree, I remember we all wanted world peace. Then we got to sit at the table and, oh, look, everybody wants something different. And I want to be well, it's about this right, whatever feels right. Well, let me think. Left mode. You're not going to win because left mode is stupid. So the left and right-brained people are the determined. Robert Sapolsky, even if there's no free will, it's okay because intelligence wins always. I mean, our species is not stupid. It's humanity. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Some people don't believe in their own species, which is why they don't believe in their own selves, which is why my facade friend is the only person I ever yelled in the face, and thank goodness, God, you're great. God kept me away, and I, to this day, the more I sit with it, the more I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that I was completely able to be a rational human being, not do the one thing that I was going to do because I was going to do something. Okay, so what happens when somebody who knows how to big girls cry and be okay with it? It's not about courage, strength. Nope, it's about curiosity. Do you know what Maria gets curious about? Hey, flat earthers, so listen, I'm curious about your thought process. If you ever want to sit down with me, I did watch a documentary, but I trust firsthand experiences. So I'm always curious about how people come to conclusions. Now, I do know the pathologies on Wheelhouse. I've met them. The donkeys, which are completely Gargamel, more Gargamels in the corner. Okay, that's how Maria thinks of people who are basically stupid man with his little Russian roulette. If only I could be a monster. Not this lifetime. So science knows that you can be at your best with your nervous system. Get your body connected. Use 2 sides of the brain. If determined is even remotely right, which he's not necessarily because I'm giving you information. Dr. Daniel Siegel, I'm sending him your way. He's awesome with integration of the brain as a therapist, not just to learn, because then there's people who want to learn things, but no, they're just wanting to chime in and talk over someone to give you a shortcut to integration. There's no shortcut. You either do the work and get out of hell by climbing up it, or you don't. And not you necessarily, but this is the point. Envy, jealousy, spite, all those who are petty little energies, which is why when I said in the other one, petty emotions, I didn't mean it because I don't talk to myself like that, but that's how it feels. I'm alone. No, you're not. You have family. What are you talking about? Different doesn't mean alone. So when you have two sides of the brain working well, it's called, they don't fight. I don't fight inside myself, you see? So when someone's fighting inside themselves, I don't have anything to say to them. It's not, I'm going to pat you in the back. It's okay. Can you calm down? And be in your prefrontal, please. Your angry circuit is going to dumb you down by the minute. You sound pretty vicious right now. I think what you meant to say is you're really angry at those people. Stop giving scarlet letters to people who, you're like a Sheldon who has a book of enemies. What's the deal? So please, when you meet emotionally immature people, remember they do all this stuff and then they go follow people. My scientist told me, my spiritual leader told how old are you? Do you know how to read and write? I don't know. Like, are you clearly, so I'm 45.0 version, please. Okay, so your humanity gives you access to your spirituality because your solo self, you living it beyond your solo self. But remember, we're always selfish. You know what I love to see? Buffoons. Buffoons speak out of their mouths. No, I don't. I'm being very sarcastic right now, and God's chiming in because he wants me to be more nice. No, he wants to me, he taught me how not to play the know-it-all. There's a very good lesson. And now that I've learned everything, science confirms what I knew as a teenager. Wow, let me not say that. Divinity. It's our ability to transcend perceived limitations. Sure. How many cloaks do you need to dress up with if you think you have the capacity to always transcend? That's why we have a herd. They're like, excuse me, hey Maria, you got distracted, but they'll be nice about it. So I have people who check in with me. In the school of humanity, when you become intimate with God, God actually is pretty good. He keeps reminding me, Maria, don't judge your brothers and sisters of human suffering, a waste of your fucking time. I'm learning. I'm telling them in the face of them. That way they can remember that there's no suffering. There's crying, yes. We cry in our prefrontal. We don't suffer. And yes, we all know what's going to happen. It's this. I already knew this. I'm not going to talk about it with the public. It's once we get our YouTube cheers that we'll get to chit chat. You reside on the king's throne. Really? Do we need to reside on the king's throne? Like, is this language? I think they're like Shakespeare. They're making it sound like a bigger shot. Hey, Thomas Harris. No, Thomas Campbell. As he says, the truth is not fragile. It will always float to the top. But sometimes it takes time to get past beliefs. Not really. Not for some of us. We're smart. And it takes there's no huge paradigm shift. It's baby steps. We had the sex revolution, then we had the other revolution, then we continue having, they're not revolutions, all of them. So when people want to pretend that they're our ancestors, I find it not hard to believe because fantasy stages of people who are using half a brain and playing Russian roulette on a screen shows how ignorant and stupid they are. Did you study political science by any chance? No? Okay, great. I did for a reason. I actually committed to the profession that I chose. I didn't do cocaine because I wanted to become a lawyer. Then I understood that according to what I had read, I was supposed to maintain decorum, also my proper words, to do rhetoric and all that other good shit. Yeah, then I found out that people throw chairs at each other and that people say it's only locker talk and then not even notice when, so whenever somebody wants to tell me that I am vulgar, I think, sure I am, whatever. Like, seriously, why are you making words count? Do you want to sound more sophisticated? You can sound as sophisticated as you want. I'm going to spot who you are because it's not the words that are going to be coming out of your mouth that I'm going to be paying attention to. My gut's going to tell me, flatline, you're in the presence of no one. It's a person who's just throwing books at you. Yes, very interesting. You know exactly what year it is. I see. Do you know how many people I got to watch as they walked around like Jesus Christ? I'm not kidding. This was even more absurd. Maria, but we're anointed. We're more special. What? We feel more. I read a room, so I stay at home. So, teach the angels the nature of the divine. Thank you, Rumi. So, divinity. If you were so divine, then you would all be joining hands with me to sing. It's a small world after all, and we're going to go recycle, and we'd be doing it with this tone, because that's exactly how children who like to play do it. And we wouldn't be fighting, and I don't have to see a little girl crying and actually terrorized and terrified and think every day of my life that the 3-year-old was sucked out of her life. And who knows one day what I might find. Will I be blaming her? No, I don't blame, I don't shame, I don't fault, I don't do revenge. I'm going to spell it out. I'm not a parent, but A third attunement, repairing ruptures, not passing down self-righteous batons, contempt, and trauma charges. So scarlet letters. Anybody want to stop handing them out? Because that actually reminds me of, yes, I'm not going to spell it out on purpose, but I remember learning in my classes exactly why the second one took place. And I'm like, now people want to continue using ancient news. Who are the people who like words so much that they actually fight over them? Yes, the black and white thinkers who are adaptive child part, which means they're not emotionally intelligent, they're not mentally intelligent, and therefore I don't need to really pay attention to them because they don't really know what's going on. Hey, Schopenhauer, what's up? If you want to appeal to a large audience, appeal to the masses. Well, I think the masses are busy with their bullshit as they always have been, because I'm pretty sure that those who are intellectually savvy are doing what I've always enjoyed doing, learning things and becoming smarter by the day, which is why when I grab a hold of the great ones, I just saw one today, I'm like, there's my smarts, because that's why we call them to us, all of us, those who come back, those are the people who want to come back. I never planned on being around people who are mediocre, because I don't look up to it, I don't look down to it. I have places to be, things to do, which is why emotional, mental plane, very easy mastery. Physical, the panic attacks were the worst part of it. I'm pretty sure I know where I'm headed at this point, which is why it's fun to be an Akashic record reader and an empowered feminine, and God is perfect. Not us. We're imperfect and flawed, and that's because we can make mistakes. And when I said we want to treat everybody right in that other episode, I mean, they deserve to be saluted. Insecure people, there's no way in hell that they're ever going to think like you did them justice. I don't do justice. I'm not a justicer, and I don't judge people, and I'm not the law, and I actually go vote on purpose and do all that other stuff. So when you hear complainers on YouTube and anywhere else, it's really teenagers. They're not very fun. They're not intellectually savvy. They're not intellectually interesting. I met them in college, and now I know all about the left brain from this other guy who made it very clear why even smart people, they're not smart. The ones like the psychologist. You want to hear what I got to see online? I was so like, this is not true. I said, this can't be true. This is a psychologist. He's a man. Okay, I get ready. You all know this one because I've told it to you. The thing is, when people don't understand that their insecurities come out of their mouth, which means that I get to witness what they could have healed. So not only does he compare women and fucking somehow in a relationship to dress, that if I buy it used, how would I feel about it? He also puts the price on it. Then he mentions how I met all your parents and did all this stuff. Like, wow, that's really fascinating. So all of this is really hard work. And then if he finds out that someone you were with prior to him was a better fuck, and I'm like, okay, insecure ego right there, obviously. So that's not impressive, by the way. Man, woman, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're empowered, you don't be like, oh my God, I get it. We all have insecurities. This is actually the capacity to be self-aware means you know you're imperfect and flawed. I still don't know that, stupid Maria. Yeah, there's a lot of things I'll be stupid about. I'm okay with it. I'll own it up without whining about it. You see what I'm saying? So this guy ends up spelling out on TV, on YouTube, it's TV anyways, that if he found out that his girlfriend actually had better sex with another man, that he just wasted all his time, that can't be, and something. And I'm like, oh my God, you need therapy. And you're giving advice to people, and this is not advice. It's more like, okay, like, why would she tell you that? I mean, it depends, like, what kind of, like, this is where it's just hilarious, though. These are questions you don't even ask, and you know, even if, let's just hypothetically say, does anybody have the capacity to be empowered and know how to handle that you might not be the best at everything? I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to say that's something that I would be, like, great or not, but really, like, it's a possibility. Anything that you can accept without a charge means you're emotionally, mentally, and physically mature and know how to be yourself. Christ consciousness is not about being Jesus. It's about using your heart, the higher frequency. And then it's about also knowing we have flaws and imperfections. Does it mean it feels good? Again, like, you can be sad. That's why you cry about it. But then you can also make peace with it. Oh, wait, healthy fear. I forgot. This is why it's not hard. People think this is emotionless. No, this is a 0-1-year-old with 3-7. All my child parts, they're mine. This is a grown human being. It's the future. Thank goodness I come from the future. So with my mystical powers, I told people I come from the future. I already knew it. Today I know why. I know how to use my brain. That's as straightforward as it gets. Oh, thank you, God. thanks to attachment trauma educators, I was humbled, because for me it was always easy. You're out, you're out, you're out, you're out, you're out. All the cowards are out. Then I met more cowards. And then I said, hey God, so no Lucifer, just cowards. Then I got busy with life. And then as I thought I had met people who were not cowards, which is why God is good. This is the part. I learned attachment trauma. Now I know exactly how to handle every single child that is a grown-up out there. And to make sure, like I did with my teenage friends, and then once I got to college, that I don't even have a flinch. The only thing that they do when people are not their humanity, so they're not their spirituality, so they don't know science and spirituality, our team, and so they don't understand how life works, is, looks like you're taking their side. Yeah, I stand with the weak ones. Don't you take a side? You have no opinion, and you're faking it. So crying means torture? Okay, no, crying is normal. Anger, normal. Fear, normal to the depth of your yeah, normal. That's your body, your human makeup. You can sit open-ended, inquire, and then do mindset. That's why we have the inner growth mindset. It was why I said not everyone likes me at all. No, they're like, hey, you're not sensitive at all. I am sensitive, but I'm not sensitive. I can cry and be upset about being bad at something, and I can walk out of a room where I did horrible professionally with my tail between my legs. So yeah, shame, but is it shame? No, because I knew I wasn't going to excel in it in the first place. But you do learn how you don't know everything always. Like when my friend said about singing, he's like, well, it takes practice. You could become a better singer if you wanted to. He's a very lovely friend of mine. As I was like, yeah, I don't sing well. And he actually, unlike the other human being who I'm not going to name right now, who basically made sure I would know how in tune I was. So at the end of the day, using shadow and light as two sides of your spiritual soul leads to bypassing and stagnation. We talked about that one. People who like to talk and not walk. They do the emotions are charged dance, or they have two sides to them. That's called Jekyll and Hyde, which is not impressive. It means they don't know how to use their nervous system. That's exactly why, as Dr. Amy Pigan points out with neuroception, it's not willpower, and why the scientists say breaking bad habits is hard. So people who are subject to their own left brain because they don't have enough of their right brain working, because they don't own their child parts. That's why they don't own their humanity. It's why they don't overflow in divinity. It's also why they don't understand how all of our brothers and sisters are beautiful the same. And then that's also why they don't know why God always wins and love always wins, and that there's no monsters and that it's also called Dharma time on planet Earth. But every country has their own cycle, by the way, if you're curious about that stuff. And we can't make choices for them. A situation becomes stressful only when you compulsively react to it. Thank you, Sadhguru. That's the bad stress. You can have good stress when you're responding and not reactive. In fact, compulsivity is those first 3 years of life. That's why if you don't own your 14-month-old, your child 14-month-old, and you don't own your 3-year-old and your 5 and 4 and all of it, you'll know. But when your humanity is in full flow, you reach out to life around you. This is not morality. This is the nature of the human heart. Thank you, Sadhguru. Which is why Jesus mentions, forgive them for they do not know. And so does Stephen Porges. Biologically rude people, they are physiologically in states of mobilization, and then they make up bullshit from their head. And then they continue to wield it. If they're 11 to 25, they decided with maladaptive patterns to stay addicted to things, to continue with shitty chit-chat and all that, which is why the scientists of likes and dislikes and all those wielding mouths of YouTube land and elsewhere have a crowd, because that's how many people don't know how to notice. You're not a one-size-fits-all, but if you're really looking for one, then you would want to start with your own self, which means you go get all your child parts owned and you reparent with someone like Patrick Chan. That way you become actually smart, and then you will have to do the work though. So, Hippocrates points out, everybody says they want to heal until discipline is showed to them. Or, as one of the lovely therapists who told me how they negotiate with people who go, you're going to have to walk out of hell. It's going to burn. You're going to fall down, but we'll help you get back up. So there's an answer. I don't need to use a demon or a monster. And hell is not a real place, nor is heaven. I mean, I am a mystic. We end up with the stars and back. But as lovely Sadhguru pointed out in one of his other quotes, it's a dimension. And that's true, because self-loathing, gut-wrench, torn apart is in the body of people. your body loves you so much that at a certain point it'll armor you in. Thanks, Bethany Brown and Ruth Lanius. And I've seen it happen because I was near in the vicinity of an individual. I had seen them 3 years prior, 3 years after they had an armor. It's not an actual armor. It is, though, an armor, because that's what happens when you have this thing called introception, but also when you know we create and we. And so that's because I pick up on your nervous system and you'll pick up on mine if you're a somatic empath, if you're enlightened and empowered in a way of using completely your entirety. So Maria's a pure channel because she has all her child parts here. So emotions aren't charged, they're emotions. And that's why in the moment where I was basically kept away in a very specific way, the reason is simply because I was actually presented with the please don't come. Had I not been presented with that please don't come, I had a plan. I had called up my facade friend, the one that I yelled to. I said, hey, I need you. I can't be there. It's okay. I'll go anyways. Thanks, friend. And instead, I get a call. And that's because, good thing I did get that call. So my point is, once I became all attachment trauma educated, I'm like, it's a good thing my laser eyes didn't go staring at somebody in the face when I didn't know anything about this horrible stuff that happens to children in their homes, and that a bunch of people who are carrying the self-righteous batons want to tell me that they are fighting for, fight, flight, and fixing and saving, savior complex. So spiritual bypassers are the ones who don't understand why science and spirituality are a team and why there's no demons inside the bodies of people. People who don't understand how likes and dislikes with charges are really unnecessary. They don't also understand how to wield the truth, which is if you don't actually have a capacity to be stronger than your dysfunctional patterns and you're smart, then you recognize it and you get the help you need. If you're stupid, you think you're stronger and you continue bullshitting yourself. And that's where the Pinocchio friends of mine, and more than just that, will end up at some point, shape, or form. So we don't need to go through extremes, but life, God, Akash Source, does send you nudges. Now, if you don't pay attention to the nudges, it's not because you don't want to. That's why Robert Sapolsky, with his book Determined, he makes sense. And learning about how the left brain works. So yeah, at a certain point, you're armored in, your body protects you from that, and then you're a wheelhouse of maladaptive patterns with shame, blame, fault, revenge. And actually, people end up sounding also like donkeys. And you completely don't realize it's like, okay, I don't even know what this, you don't know me, like at all. I'm not kidding. This is hilarious. And then you just think, okay, there's a complete disconnect. So it's not because 5D Christ consciousness people can't be near 4D, 3D. No, we can be near anyone. But if they stay in a lower frequency, it also means that they're consistently doing self-righteous revenge, rage. They think life's unfair, that equanimity is fake, and that we're supposed to be angry in an immature way, while we get to be the masters of ourselves, like the angry Buddhists. Just, I'm not a Buddhist. I was raised by good Christian Catholic catechists, and that my mother taught me what grown-ups who manipulate look like. And as a self-agent, that's why when I say liar, it's because I know you're lying, like my facade friend. Stop lying to me. But today I'm attachment trauma educated, so I know I'm picking up on the insecure nervous system, teenage version, and the mask that they're wearing and not taking off, because that's exactly how they pretend for the rest of their life. So I've learned how to put up with liars. You see, they're not the same. They're the same cowards. There's no monsters. Even the ones who end up in prison. I hope there's good therapists in prison. They can help them get with anger management, get off the booze, get off the drugs, do everything in a way that will be for their health. And as soon as you meet the moderate ones, you'll know that they know how to be functional child adults and tell you it's not the substance, like this smart lady said. It's the relationship. So like with cigarettes, I tried to get down to my perfect number. I saw that it wasn't working out as easy, no matter all the tactics, techniques that I used. And that's because of the habit. And so the habit was that, which is a reward. I'm used to feeling at ease at a certain point, I guess, with the whole breath thing. So here's where God came in and helped me, universe, source, and there you go. And then I found that compromise. So some would say, well, compromise is failing because of cigars. And I'm going to say compromise is my choice. But this is the part of why moderation is key. I'm trying to present to you. It doesn't mean that it's good or bad. It's that once you're a grown-up, don't you want to be treated like a grown-up? Or do we actually need to baby people? Laws will baby people if they have to. I'm just thinking it's unnecessary since scientists, again, have explained how neuroplasticity and your body works. So the reality is your body will want health. It loves you and it wants to heal. The left mode is that when I say at the 2 years of age, it creates a story. No, it's that you begin to talk. So if people take me literally, that's going to be an issue. But I try to make sure you understand that I'm bringing concepts, not rules, and I fuck it up and forget the data, all of it. So because sometimes you're new people, I need to repeat and reshare. Once we get our community going, that's a whole different story. Propelled by rage, we substitute one injustice for another. Propelled by compassion, we do what is needed. Those who are compassionate are forgiving, and they are definitely the ones who know if you irritate me simply because you're not like me, yeah, I'm being an asshole in that moment. I can tell it to you in your face, though. That's the difference. When I will. No, I'm not anymore. Now I just learned completely how to, it's not my call. You do whatever you want. God doesn't interfere in your life. Enoch had him promise not to flood the earth. That's how weak humans are, because they have a bunch of other weak people around them. You see, weak, Zen master, laundry, learn how to use your embodied brain. We have it. To me, a person who doesn't know how to think and feel easily is weak, because you're also manipulable like the back of your hand. So there's a challenge for you. When someone says you can be manipulated, I know who could manipulate me and why. I also trust my gut enough to know that I'll be physically safe. As for the chit-chatter gossipers, have never represented a threat, because that's cowards. There's no envy, jealousy, spite for a person who has an actual empowered ego, because I'm not looking for you to do this. I'm Maria. What's your name? Excuse me. I have a twin. I'm sorry. I forgot to mention my superpower. I have implicit memory. I have no aloneness. I'm not joking. I'm pretty sure that's my superpower, because every mammal will want one human being to die with the bear. You know what I mean? And I will not ever be alone, even if I'm alone. So I have a superpower. See, I got lucky. Like everybody else will say, yep, I have a charmed life. Also, I've lived many a lifetime, so I really did get lucky. And I do know that forgiveness and kindness, and I don't think that word is necessary, but when you do master Resh, it's really fun, darkness and light. So we'll have some more of these episodes. In the meantime, it's really nice that science has proven that which Jesus had shared, the kingdom of God is within you. So getting restorative, embodied, self-aware, accountable, regulating. Anyone who wants to do it can do it. There's a lovely lady. She's excited to get to her 10th year. She has actual states of self, like fragments, and she's healing from it. That's a brave lady. Kylie, narcissist healing. That's a brave lady. Dr. Daniel Fox is amazing, helps borderline personality and narcissist personality. The ones who say, narcissists don't heal, they don't change. Look, I can show you. My colleagues are against me. That's not impressive. That's a scarlet letter. So are you looking to give scarlet letters out now? I thought you wanted to help people. Oh, I guess only your group. So your group is the hero group and the other group is the enemy group. Wait, where's that lovely man? So you see, it doesn't anybody find it hilarious? I do. I know I've found it hilarious since I found out about the whole in and out group. I'm like, now that we have the information, we can use it, because that's how smart people work. Once you get a data point, you're like, that's really good to know. Now that I have my 14-month-old here, so when I like and don't like things, I can tell you it. And in fact, healing is not a divisive behavior. Abuse is, or self-righteous, contemptuous baton. So whenever you're holding a charge and you don't know how to process it, and then how to remain emotional, mental, and just be an individual who knows, yes, we have a bunch of 3-year-olds out there. So it's the emotional charge that people haven't mastered, because they haven't mastered calm-centered equanimity. It's also why they don't know discernment. And when you hear someone saying that equanimity is yucky and that they're here to be light and lightning, you got another teenager in the room who actually thinks that they're badass while they're mediocre. And they're just going to have another group that's going to take their side. So that's what emotional charges look like. Because, when I get irritated, angry, like my facade friend, he definitely got to learn of it. All I ask you is to be yourself. So that's why I do know myself, which is where attachment, trauma, education, it definitely helped me to know what not to do. Only those who have lost the need for security are truly secure, Sadhguru. And as he says, your life is your making. God does not interfere in it. Thank you. And body and mind are profoundly connected. Yes, when the body becomes still, the mind naturally follows. Thank you again, Sadhguru. So I have a lot of different people I meet, which is where I'm happy that you're here, happy that you're empowered. This is awesome. Come and join us. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. This is Sun Tzu. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer defeat. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. Our human species is not our enemy. So when people divide humanity and they think we're broken and they create those shitty movies that they keep creating, I know that those human beings are basically teenage versions of themselves talking about all the injustices, all the unfairness, and all that suffering business. That is why he sat under a tree. However, you don't become my presence or get your strength and courage and resilience the good way by sitting under the tree alone, because that's where integration of the brain and restorative embodiment come, thanks to you being able to think and feel all in one go. So it's only once your left and right work as a team, which requires you to not allow your emotions to get the best of you, nor your thoughts. So when I started the Nutritionist Diary, I told you all, I got intrigued because I'm like, why are you fussing so much? Because you can tell when the left gets this little timber. And I'm like, this is going to be fun. It's not even a challenge. It's more like a hissy fit. Okay, so for cigarettes, it wasn't a big deal when I quit. I just was like, okay, I tried, and then, oh, thanks God for helping me. I mean, did I really want to? No, but I did want to get down to 3 because I can tell the difference between 3 is a perfect sweet spot. That's why the compromise. So you can tell if you have a good relationship with your body. When it comes to people, we pick each other up. We have a we, as Dr. Daniel Siegel would point out. So if you understand it, that's because you can experience it. I'll never forget when I actually perceived this armor and then got the explanation from Bethany Brand and Ruth Lanius, because that is where they actually do a really good job at telling you why people who have shame, well, they will not look in your eyes. And when people say, you look in my eyes, that means confidence. I know, I'm from the culture that taught me this. I also learned about cultures that, no, it's bad business acumen. So you must obviously not know how to adapt to your situations and want it to be your way. You know, why are you traveling? Why are you in business? Why are you stupid? Why don't you have better professionals working with you? I can be stupid too, but you better bet I would surround myself with people who would know how to help me be perfect for that, which is what supposedly was supposed to be something. Now they've just lowered the bar to the point of where we get to see all the adoptive child part people. I mean, that's okay though, because now that it's all out in the woodwork and science explains exactly what they are, I'm going to say I would give myself the opportunity to become the best version of myself versus staying the dumbed down version. But my Pinocchio friends, they've shown me how easy it is for instead them to say, oh, no, I'm Maria. I'm going to drink myself to alcoholism and beyond. And that's because it's a short life intensely. So while Sadhguru gives you the spiritual stuff, I give you the human stuff to make the spiritual stuff not sound like philosophy. And the science stuff, again, it's not hard to break a bad habit unless you're not stronger than your dysfunctional patterns. Then that's a sign. I need help. Good. There's help out there. The people who want me to be soft-spoken about it, I know who they are. And actually, at least I give people a chance, because, you know, everybody else is so close-minded. They're cultured. They're nice. They tried hitting you on a couple and more occasions to the point of where you had to reject them. And actually, when that happened, I got the minute deserve to be saluted, because that's how they decided to let their upset. And for 3 whole years, this stranger apparently just thought that he was not decent. That's called porous, boundaryless, shame in the low part, desperation, manipulative. What's manipulative? There's nothing manipulative. It was, it's not, because you're not about decency in my head. And like you said, I to him, and this is a drunk guy, okay? So I'm just saying, when I go out, I don't need movies. Movies don't entertain me, because there's people out there who are suffering, but then they think that I'm the dumb one. Or I'm too serious. Yeah, sure I am. I'm not too serious. I just know what your health is. You don't have to want it. Oh, it's a scientist that gave me all the answers. I already had the answers, very easy, from Jesus, God, Holy Spirit, all of it. The good Christian Catholic upbringing. And my mother teaching me what manipulators look like. And she stood up for us with the grown-ups. So that's why I'm a 3-year-old. You can't break a 3-year-old when she's shown, okay, if grown up does this, you don't worry. You come to me, and that's where, but you be nice, teaching you manners. And she did. fact, she's the one, as I'm telling her the story, this isn't enough. You didn't tell him you didn't like him in his face. That's not nice. No, I actually completely gave him the cold shoulder, the fucking bitch like my man friends told me I had to be, because apparently if I hug you, I need to put up with you figuring out that I'm friend zoning you completely. And when people hear polyamory, so I can fuck you, no. I can marry you, no. I can, no. But it's fun to play this game. And no, you're not in my polyfidelity vessel. You are not in it. Stay out of it and stop scooch. Oh, I love it. I love playing with words, and I love actually meeting people, by the way. So it's going to be fun, as when there is no envy, jealousy, comparison, and competition within you, you can focus your full capabilities on doing what is needed. Thank you, Sadhguru. And as Ruth Lanius points out, the whole goal of trauma treatment is to help people feel safe in their bodies. Yes. And when people irritate you, it's simply because they're not the way you would want them to be or expect them to be. And essentially, they're not like you. Thank you, Sadhguru. So here's the thing as we close on out. Well, some people think I'm a bitch, and I'm not a witch, actually. I tell people I'm not a witch. I'm a sorcerer, but I'm not a sorcerer. I'm a child. I'm emotional. I'm everything and beyond, but I haven't seen all my past lifetimes. But I'm pretty sure I don't do the witch thing. I'm pretty sure... But, you never can know. Luminous warriors, attack, body connected, ventral vagal state, awesome. Love yourself first. Where's my future humans? I'm a future human, so I'm not sure if I could belong to that. This is beautiful. You guys have heard of my Akashic record reading, so it's really fun. And I remember when I was opened up to more with my clairs, and I did surround the earth, was with my team, and then we were on a spaceship, and then we had more, and now they're here again. And I'm not channeling them yet, but being the best version of yourself is really fun, and being the smart version of yourself. And as Thomas Campbell points out again, the truth is not fragile, it will always float to the top, but sometimes it takes time to get past beliefs, and it takes a huge paradigm shift to get there. It's not a huge paradigm shift. The researchers, the mental health, neuroscience, neurobiology, all the scientists, they, year after year of our human species, continue to bring forth that which is findings. Spirituality, we have different stories, we have different messengers, we have different voices. They all lead to the same place, like the Dalai Lama pointed out, compassion and love. So when you hear somebody with arms, that's not spirituality, people. Now they're just people who are regurgitating with a little box. So that's one group. The scientists with their groups, they over time build data. And so intuitiveness, we've known the spirituality community that we're souls. Okay, so that to me is a no-brainer. Scientists build data. Thanks to technology and thanks to everything, they now know what an embodied brain does. And thanks to all of that, they can support all people to become their best version. So science and spirituality are not at odds. And the ones who would want to own that which is the words, they're the ones who don't know how to use two sides. So two sides means that I can talk with you without any emotional charge with a word, and if I spot it, then I'm okay with it. I can work with it, because that's what it means to be a functional child adult here. Not everybody has to be here, but that's where mediocre behavior is clear to a person who is emotionally intelligent, because you're also going to be mentally intelligent. Means you have fun. You play because you play here, you're child alive, you do no serious business, you just don't suffer it because you're using a prefrontal cortex. Thanks, Dr. Daniel Siegel. It's called eustress. So you're always going to get stressed when you get up. But because you're in a meditative state inside, which is why our mindful mindset, the inner growth practices work, it's because you know how to wield your thoughts and your emotions, and to, hey, 1-year-old, 3-year-old, it's okay, we didn't... And your oversoul helps you to master all this, which is why, as an Akashic record reader and an empowered feminine, and that spiritual name I told you, Rose, or Rose, I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Like the kid from The Sword and your innocence. So when you don't lose your child's essence, you keep Prakriti, that's pure energy, Purusha, pure consciousness, Shiva, Shakti. You have your own Kali and Shiva and Krishna Lila. That's how I call them, because Krishna Lila is exploring the depths of the profound, of the seriousness with playfulness. And so you're using prefrontal, open-ended inquiry. That's why in time it gives you strength. So yes, you cry a little, Zen master, or a lot. It doesn't matter. But the point is, you don't actually create an armor, because an armor is a weak spot. It means that I continue while you instead acknowledge I wanted a bond. That's human. I wanted to do something that's human. So it's human to cry, because bonding is what we want to do. Self-agency, I get angry, I want to correct something. And fear is certainty. I want physical safety. Thanks, Dr. Dan. The 3 main subcortical areas that we use alongside our personality patterns, temperament. So when you're wholeness, you don't need the therapy. You're now ready to have fun with us, and you won't be too upset at a person who says it's easy to do thoughts and emotions, because you can do it too. And then you have objectives and goals. Like, I'm having fun with the nutritionist diary. I actually spotted something. It was today or later on yesterday. I forget, but I'm going to talk about it probably tomorrow. And so you have like these fun experiments you do with yourself. Because really, it's fun to play with our thoughts and emotions and to grow our oversoul. Yes, you don't lose people. Kundalini awakenings 2, 3 twin flames, soulmates. It's amazing. And like I said, God is perfect. Now I do know I want everybody to be happy too, and we'll get there because I know it. Our species will always get there. Humans evolve, consciousness expands. It's all love. The fear stuff, healthy fear, it keeps us safe. The unhealthy fear stuff, well, 3D frequency won't be on Earth because it's slowly going to be out. 5D frequency is all there is, and as long as people don't know what 3D, 4D. So again, it's a body that wants to fight or flee, fix or save, and those are all healable thanks to therapists being able to help anybody who wants to get their mental, emotion, physical health online. EMDR, chop arts, work, somatics, and then now from that moment forth, you get to choose. And that isn't straightforward for some, but that's how straightforward I'm going to bring it to you. So determined, he says we have no free will. I'm going to say you do, because right now you just heard a bunch of things. Am I pseudoscience woo lady? Yes. Do I fuck up the data? Yes. Do I confuse shit? Yeah. Am I mystic? Yes. Am I spiritual? Yes. And guess what? God and his children are all made perfect. And so again, her, they, she, all of it. The ones who want to continue with letting bad JoJo and Juju in, there's bad things, yes, that happen because of people with scarlet letters, charges, and immaturity. It's called the adaptive child is harsh, unforgiving, not ready to move into becoming a functional child adult or to notice, oh, I have feelings and I don't like everything that happens in the world. Yes, I have feelings too, and I don't like everything that happens in the world. If we can stop fighting those on the side. So at the end of the day, though, again, spiritual masters, gurus, enlightened ones, those who are expanding, we don't judge somebody based on what they are right now. We will look at what potential they carry, and they will be able to bring it to fruition if they want. We won't neglect anyone or cut them out because they do not have the necessary capability right now. Also, we don't just, treat people like shit. And typically those who have maladaptive patterns of behavior and are unhealthy won't be around us. Those who want us to take a side, which is not their side, so they want their group, like the flat earthers, they won't be around us. So people who isolate, again, abuse isolates, but it doesn't have to be abuse. It can also be teenagers who copy each other, follow masters, think they're right, have their left mode in the lead, completely decentralizing in the self gone bad, has a person spreading rumors about yoga versus learning that muscles, bones, and tissues store trauma charges. They came up, and lo and behold, you changed the flip. And so you, from one team, your flag switched to the other team. Oh, so now, but will you acknowledge that you were on the other team, or no, now you're going to go to the other? So this is why teenagers, black and white thinking and flipping a switch is amazing. I've met them, the ones who don't remember. You call him like your guru, master, something. This is a human being who was like bowing down to this human being. It wasn't just the word. And when I met up at a certain point and specified the word they had used, no, he's a friend. That's the part of where we can all change our mind. Well, this is why words aren't what matter. It's the other parts that take place. So sometimes people say, so guru, cult leader. Well, then religion, cult. No, that's not how. So words are things we use to communicate, of course, but not all of us are so picky with them. And then we're trying to create concepts, if that's what I'm trying to make clear. So again, when I say liars, it means there's fake people who are being their teenage version, adaptive child part. And we won't make everyone get to go heal themselves, like my Pinocchio friends who gonna stick to their story and have fun. I'm sure they will. And that's the part of where there's other soul age groups for everyone. So besides countries having soul age groups, and cosmic karmic balancing is always at play, which is why all of it always goes back to its next sweet spot. And if you have more questions, we'll wait. We'll wait for lives when you can ask, but we don't have answers to everything. That's the whole point of being spiritual and not sciences. Sciences, they're always technical. That's why they come to their conclusions, why they're very important. They have to go full circle. They have a way that they have data. We are fine with playing with it. We have structure, and it's kind of like you can draw a little bit outside of the lines and have fun with it, but you need a structure. Otherwise, we don't know what it is, right? You need to draw some type of shape. Okay, thanks for stopping by. I'm teasing you all a little bit more, but we'll be back soon.